Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Really glad to see you here again. The new moon in Taurus. That's our next exciting adventure in the skies coming up next week. So I'm going to give you the details for that before I get into some thoughts and ideas about it. So the new moon in Taurus happens at 18 degrees. And she will perfect this lunation. If you're on the east coast of Australia, as I am, it is the 8th of May. 1:21 p.m. If you're on the New York time zone, that happens on May 7 at 11:21 p.m. And if you're on the London time zone, May 8, so early in the morning on Tuesday, I believe that is, and it's 4:21 a.m. So I don't know about you, but I am still in April recovery mode. What a month that was. If you found this month, or last month, I should say, to be a little bit on the turbulent side, feel free to leave me a comment. How did that play out for you? Maybe you had a fantastic month. I'd love to know. Feel free to share your experiences below. So this new moon in Taurus is definitely a well-deserved breath of fresh cosmic air. And a bit of a sweet treat before we start to move into some more active and dynamic and fast-paced transits towards the end of the month, particularly as Jupiter moves into Gemini. So over the next few weeks, we really do have that invitation to stop and smell the roses, sip the wine, whatever it is that floats your boat. It is really about just the stillness, the indulging of the five senses, and just getting sort of grounded and back to basics. So I feel like there is this very earthly energy coming through, so we can kind of get back to like maybe a base point before everything kind of gets a little bit cray cray again. So what I'm going to do, and I don't normally use that word, but hey, why not? The new moon. Okay, so this is the chart for the new moon. I've already given the dates and details, and this is the chart setting for my location here in Vegas, or some people call it Brisneyland, and it's not like neither of those places. So we've got 18 degrees is the degree of this new moon. So obviously what stands out is that the ruler of the new moon, which is Venus, is in Taurus, her own sign, and with the new moon. We've also got Jupiter, our other benefic planet, 25 Taurus. So this new moon is also flanked by astrology's benefic planets. Of course, Venus being in her own sign, and Jupiter in Taurus isn't too shabby neither. So it is a real cosmic infusion of stability, support, benevolence, help, and also repair. And I think probably my main sort of vibe on this is breathing, breathing, just getting back into the body, getting back into the five senses, and just really the stillness. If you've ever been into like in a situation where there's been a lot of anxiety, a lot of turbulence, or you're kind of like caught in a loop with your own thoughts and things like that, the energy of Taurus is really amazing to just kind of breathe, get back into the body, get back into something that's like real, tangible, and get you out of the head a little bit. If you've got someone in your life who has some Taurus planets, they are often very good to just kind of give you that, cup of tea at the kitchen table, little tap on the shoulder, there, and just to help give you that stability and support. So this is what this new moon is doing. It's giving us that cup of tea, glass of wine, whatever it is, bit of chocky, and giving you that opportunity to just calm down, breathe, catch your breath, recalibrate, and just enjoy a little bit of whatever you would like to enjoy. So for me this weekend, we have a long weekend where I live. which I'm very grateful for, I'm really looking forward to doing a fair bit of cooking. There's a few new recipes I really want to try, and getting back into my garden, which has been much neglected. FYI, my own natal Venus is at 18 Taurus. So I really feel that the pull to just, tend a corner of my life that's been a little bit neglected, that also nourishes and supports me, not just in the doing of the garden, but also the receiving of that bounty. So sometimes we have to have that stillness so we can reflect, so we can assess, so we can gain some self-awareness, so we can know what needs to change or what needs to experience some growth in our life. So there is a pasture or a field in your life, as per your birth chart, that you really are being called to attend to this week. Now, this might mean a little bit of indulgence. This might mean that you have to pull up a few weeds. This might mean you have to figure out where the stuck or the stagnant patterns are. The fact that Uranus is so key in this as well also tells me, like, what are you not liberating yourself from? Where are you too comfortable, maybe too cozy, too stuck in your comfort, that you're not willing to take a risk towards change? There's a little bit of growing pains here, but it's not growing pains that are, difficult. It's this push, like, make that change. You'll be supported. Make that change. There's growth on the other side of it. So that's such a sweet possibility here with the Taurus parts of your life. We've also got Venus technically under the beams. So she's within 8 degrees of the sun, which is that condition known as under the beams. And there's a lot of talk about planets being in that position, being in a state of compromise. But then if they're in their own sign, known as their own chariot, then they're sort of immune or got a bit of a get out of jail free card with that combustible position. Now, so not under the beams, she is going into combustion. Under the beams is from 15 to 8. Now from 8 to the conjunction of the sun, which in this instance happens at 14 Gemini next month. She's going into combustion. So she's very burned up, going into that place of being burned up by the sun. Now, the own chariot condition, I don't see is really a get out of jail free card for a planet if they're in their own chariot. Now, in the case of Venus, like, she's still going into the beams of the sun. She is not going to escape that position. That's the reality of her position. But what gives her a little bit of protection or power in this configuration is she's got some resources that will support her in this journey. So this might mean, like for me, I'll just share this. I have Venus in Taurus, and ever since I was in primary school, that's elementary for the Americans, I've always carried bottles of water with me. I've always worn sunscreen, way before it was popular to do so. I was in primary school in the 80s, so it's a fair while ago. So, I've always taken with me my little protective support mechanisms. No one sees me anywhere without a hat on. I always have my sunscreen, and I'll always have a bottle of water. And I've just always operated that way. So I've always had that, despite being outdoors, So there will be an area in your life where things are winding down. This is the end of the Venusian synodic cycle. She's going into that dark moon of her own phase to be reborn and renewed when she moves midway through Gemini. So again, this is the kind of like the down, the going down in a sense for Venus, that she is losing light. She's at the end of a cycle, and she's kind of like losing a little bit of power. So if she was rising out of the beams of the sun in Taurus, I might be more inclined to go, she's not suffering from the combustion, but because she's going into it, this is much a cycle about shedding, about releasing, about change, letting go of the stagnancy. Like, what are you persevering with or on that you just need to be done with? What do you need to liberate yourself from that you think is comfortable, but it's actually not? If the Jupiter Uranus stuff wasn't enough to kind of rattle your cage a bit, this new moon is not necessarily a cage rattler, but it's going to be enough to go, hey, I think I'm ready to do something different, or hey, I'm ready for change. So this is the end of the cycle and the Kazemi coming through. I think it's maybe June 5 from memory. So this is a wind down phase for Venus as well. So of course, there's a little bit of maybe indulgence required here. It is Venus and Taurus after all. So this could be a weekend where you don't do much, where you might want to just rest or relax, tend to whatever fields and pastures in your life that need attending to before the cycle starts again, because the Gemini area of your life is going to get a massive sort of flush of energy. The Taurus one is in a wind down phase. So this might be a time to really embrace stillness, embrace the five senses, embrace the stability and the resources and the abundance you have around you. Be very grateful for those things too, of course. And just kind of ground yourself once again before the energy really sort of picks up again once we move into Gemini season. And then, of course, Jupiter follows suit. So with Uranus in the thick of this new moon, think about what does change and freedom and liberation mean for you. And a lot of people kind of throwing around those words at the moment, but where most people are truly stuck is within their own minds. It's within their own points of view and in their own perceptions. And this new moon really brings the possibility to emancipate yourself from a lot of those things. But it takes the stillness, it takes the reflection and an acute level of self-awareness to be able to go, that's what I need to change, or that's what I need to work on. And that's a real contradiction to the recalcitrance that the energy of Taurus can really hold. So while on the upside, there's a beautiful, enduring, persevering strength to the energy of Taurus, but on the downside, it does lack the ability to emancipate itself from stuckness. So that's going to be a part of this new moon. The stillness is what helps you generate change, generate improvement, generate new ideas, because only change can beget change. And whether we like it or not, there's plenty of it coming our way. There's also a sextile from Saturn, who is ruled by Jupiter. So we're talking about long-lasting influences. The sextile, again, I do have a few controversial ideas in astrology that are a little bit outside of the norm. Welcome to my world. That is the sextile. Yes, it's the gentle, supportive aspect, but I see it as more of a goad, more of an encouragement. A little bit of a push is required to bring forth that stability or support that the sextile offers. It's a little bit of a blink and you miss it aspect, because they're just sort of a little bit, they're fleeting in a sense. So it's like that idea that you have to be open to an opportunity in order to embrace it. And sometimes the sextile, if you're not open to opportunity, you will miss that opportunity. So that's a little bit of a segue on sextiles there. Now, just another feature of the new moon, which does add a lot of benevolence to it, if you didn't think there was enough there already, is that planets between 14 and 21 of Taurus are within the Egyptian terms of Jupiter. So this lunation falls within those terms. So there's just a little bit of a more of a Jupiterian influence there. And Jupiter more than anything else, is about perspectives. It's about faith. It's about philosophy. It's about perspectives, points of view, cohesion. So this might help you think outside the box a little bit with whatever is comfortable and stable in your life. If you feel a little bit, stuck in some ways, changing perspectives, changing ideas, gaining another point of view is really helpful. And that usually comes with the stillness and the self-reflection and the self-awareness that I already mentioned. So to summarize, I really do think this new moon is so infused with so much beautiful earthly potential to really ground yourself in what's real, what's tangible, indulge in the five senses. There's so much stuff in the internet right now. There's so much in the ethers. There's so many various tentacles that are trying to infect our mind. Now, through the stillness of Jupiter, through maybe sipping the wine, eating the chocolate, tending the fields, the gardens, what have you, you get back into what's real. And at the end of the day, that's all we've got. So do enjoy this last leg of an earthly cycle, because we're not getting much more for quite some time. So do enjoy the groundedness. If you need to just take your foot off the gas, off the accelerator and rest this weekend, totally recommend it. If you would like more information about how you can extract a little bit of goodness out of this new moon, I do have a manifestation workshop on my website where we infuse so many of the planetary energies. We use perfections, we use like journaling, writing, all the sort of deeper mindset stuff aligned with the astrology to create intentions for the year. I usually do this work on the Aries new moon because it's the new moon of the year. It also happens to be my 11th house, which is a very, the fortunate house. But obviously last month being an eclipse, I decided to skip it. So this is going to be the lunation that I am going to really work on some of those Taurus ideas. And I'd invite you to do the same if this is something that you might be interested in. It's actually one of my most popular sort of workshops or trainings I've ever done. So it's astrology infused, but it's not astrology, if that makes sense. So I really do hope you enjoy it. If you do want to do that, you'll also have an invitation in the purchase in all the information that you get to join me for a live new moon call within the Golden Circle Club, which happens this Saturday night, Australian time, morning in the UK. And this is the month where I don't do American friendly time zone. So we catch up every month within the Golden Circle, and I alternate to suit as many time zones as possible. I'll also pop a link in the Golden Circle where you can explore more astrology with me through the monthly transits. There's so many bonuses, resources, Q&A, all the things in the astro community that we have over there. So that will wind up this. Thank you for all the lovely comments about the horoscope video. It's always fun to do something a little bit different out there. So I do hope you enjoy that. Thank you for all the lovely comments. I do need to circle back and answer you all. So I just want to wish you a really relaxing, indulgent, and very soothing and benevolent new moon cycle.